Hi, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, today I'm going to show you one photo. I have a photo of the day. I haven't done a photo of the day in a while. And I just pulled this photo out of my closet and I'm going to put it up somewhere up here. Kind of rotate the photos and my display every so often. So I thought I would show you this photo and also talk about how my collecting has changed. And it kind of changes quite a bit. What I collect, what I will settle for. And it kind of makes collecting fun. No one collects the same. Maybe similar, but not exactly the same. So we'll kind of discuss that, and I'm going to show you a Ty Cobb card I recently won in auction and kind of go over my thinking of when I purchase cards. So we're going to start with the photo first. This is a Pete Alexander, Grover Alexander, probably one of the top 5 pitchers of all time. Doesn't get enough credit in the hobby, I believe, for how good a pitcher he was. And I think the reason why he kind of gets overlooked a little bit is because he doesn't have a T206 card or even a T205 card. His career started in 1911. It lasted late into the 1920s. And the photo I have here is a 1913 photo. So he's been only in the major leagues a couple years when this photo was taken. So a young Grover Alexander. And it's a Paul Thompson type 1 photo. Paul Thompson was known for portraits, up close portraits, and many of his photos were the players in the dugout or standing next to the dugout. Paul Thompson, what he's known for is many of his photos were used for the T205 cards. So if Pete Alexander had a T205 card, it'd probably look something like this. Young Pete. The back here, you can see it's kind of faded out, but here's his stamp. This particular photo I purchased 3 years ago, maybe, and I purchased from the person, Henry. His name was Henry Yee, and he's the one who actually does the grading on these PSA or the evaluation of the photos for PSA. So this at one time was in his collection. So that's Pete Alexander. Now, the card I'm going to show you, like I was mentioning earlier, the way I look at cards, what I'll settle for, has kind of changed over the years. If you were to, show me a few years ago, hey, here's a Ty Cobb card, it's been trimmed, or maybe it's colored in a little bit, or it's a beater, I would say, hey, it's okay. It's a rare card, but I'll keep looking. But with cards being so expensive, rare cards, rare pre-war cards, Ty Cobb cards, I've kind of changed my thoughts, and depending on the set, I will accept a lower grade or an authentic card because I couldn't afford, like this card I'm going to show you in a PSA 4, if I were to purchase this card, it recently sold, a PSA 4 for $40,000. So that's way over my head when it comes to something like that. So if I want a card, I'm a Ty Cobb collector, I'm going to have to settle for either an authentic card or a PSA 1 card. So what it is the 1910 Williams Caramel Ty Cobb portrait. And you can recognize this image, the same image as this T206 red Cobb. The difference is the PSA has graded about 2,500 red T206 Ty Cobb cards, 2,500. PSA's only graded 24 of these. And the highest grade, there's one PSA 5. So most of them are of low grade. These are very thin stock. There's 30 cards to the set. You have Wagner, Mathewson is in the set. They're all portraits. They all have the red background, and they're all blank back. And this one actually kind of cool because this has a stamp on it. So the reason why this is authentic is, I'm sure, because it's missing a little paper here. Not just rounded corners, but actually missing a little bit of paper here. So I'm sure that's why it got the authentic grade. Now, it still holds it still has a great red background. His facial image is spot on, even though it has a crease here and here. So for me to be able to afford a card like this, well, one that I could actually afford probably only comes up maybe once a year. Because I think, if I remember, there was like 3 authentic, PSA authentic cards graded and 5 PSA 1 cards. And a couple of the PSA 1 cards that I've seen, the red background's faded, or there's a bunch of creases through his face. So, like I was mentioning, I might, 3 years ago, I might, turn my back on it, wait for another day, but I'm not getting any younger. So if I want this card and I can find one in decent shape, I'm going to get it. So I mentioned this. There's a 30 card set. The Williams Caramel Company, basically it was incorporated in 1894. It started out as the Oxford Caramel Company. In 1907, the name changed to Williams Caramel. And you can see down here, it says here, Ty Cobb, RF Right Field, Detroit, Williams Caramel Company, Oxford, Pennsylvania. Later, it changed the name again to the Oxford Confectionery Company. So it went from Williams Caramel to Oxford Confectionery Company. And I do have a card, Ty Cobb, from that set. And I pulled it out, and it's right here. The 1921 Oxford Confectionery card of Ty Cobb. So obviously this company, over the years, thought it would be a good idea to place a card in their caramel packages. So, like I mentioned, no one collects the same. Everyone, we might collect similar, but no one collects exactly the same. So somebody might look at this and say, heck no. For me, I say heck yes. So hey, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.